some really low quality vlogs. Anyways, I'm starting up a new series, new vlog series or whatnot. So for those of you guys who know me, you know that I went to Costa Rica for my spring break, and I tried my best to vlog as much of it as I could, just so that I could have it when I'm older and I can't travel anymore, and I can look back at it and love it, and also to show my friends and family back at home what I did on this amazing life-changing week. So this is going to be a little bit different from what I usually do with my vlog. So I have my laptop here, and I'm going to be replaying all of my footage and then talking to you guys like this, just trying to give you guys a little bit more backstory on what I did, because for those of you guys who know me, I am not great at talking to a camera in front of a bunch of people or just in front of anybody in general. It's not me. So yeah. Also, taking the appearance, I look like crap. I have acknowledged it, you have acknowledged it, done, over with. Second note, for those of you guys who do watch my videos, you know that I did not finish my Florida vlogs. Those may be returned to after my Costa Rica vlogs. They also may not be returned to because I don't know where half of that footage went. So we'll see. I have to do a little bit of digging, but let's do this. Let's get on with Costa Rica vlogs. So I'm just gonna talk about how we came to go to Costa Rica. So it was, I think, New Year's Day. I was at my aunt's house. We were just having a nice little family dinner, and we were finalizing all the details of our future vacation to Florida for my titi's boyfriend's birthday, when my best friend Anna messaged me on Snapchat and she said, would you want to go somewhere for spring break together? And I said, if I can afford it, yeah, let's go. So a little bit of a backstory on me and Anna, who you will meet in these vlogs. I met her the summer before my freshman year of high school, and we have been friends ever since. We ended up working together as the equestrian instructors, and we are still working together as equestrian instructors during the summer. But yeah, she messaged me, she asked me, do you want to do something? And I said, heck yes. So we started looking into what we wanted to do and where we wanted to go, and we knew that we wanted to go out of the country. And our first choice, I think, was Puerto Rico. I went there a few years ago, so I was like, heck yeah, let's go. I know a few places. For like, I want to say like a month or so, we were like, yeah, we're gonna go to Puerto Rico. She has a friend who is studying abroad in Puerto Rico, or she thought at first. And then after a little bit of time, we figured out her friend Acacia was not studying in Puerto Rico. She was studying in Costa Rica. So we switched up. We said, no more Puerto Rico, let's go to Costa Rica, let's have a completely new experience together. And I mean, the rest of is pretty much history from there. Anna bought the tickets. I did my best trying to plan everything out when it came to transportation and accommodations, like where we're going to be staying. We chose what Airbnbs we were going to stay at, what towns we were going to go to, what we were going to do. We got all that settled and ready so that when we go, hopefully everything's covered for. Spoiler alert, everything was not fine. We did have a few mishaps, which you guys will see or hear about in the future vlogs. But for right now, we are going to get into the night we traveled to Costa Rica. Anna ended up coming over around like 4 p.m. on Monday the 18th, I think. Yeah, so Anna came over Monday the 18th at around 3:30, 4 p.m. I was just coming back from work. She actually got to my house before I got home, which is fine. But what did we do? We hung out. We went and got more Invisalign from my orthodontist. We went to Plato's Closet, got a few more things that we didn't need for our trip. And then she ended up falling asleep around 10ish, 10:30, and I just stayed up the entire time because we had to leave our house at 2 a.m. on Tuesday the 19th to head to the airport because our flight was at 5 in the morning. Great. Anna woke up around 1. We started packing all of our stuff, doing any last minute checks. I got an Uber and we left my house around 2 in the morning. We got there around 2:30, 2:45. We had to wait a long time to just check into our flights because there was a long line even before we showed up and nobody was at like the desks or whatnot. So it took a while to get through that, but once we did, we found our gate pretty fast and pretty easily, and we just sat and waited for a while. We ended up getting some Starbucks, of course, and we boarded our flight. So our flight was from Chicago O'Hare all the way to a layover in Fort Lauderdale in Florida, and we had like an hour layover before we had to hop on our next plane that would eventually take us to San Jose, Costa Rica. We had a little bit of a scary moment in Fort Lauderdale because we were sitting like 15 meters from the desk where they're calling you to go, you know, in through the thing to get to the plane, whatever the hell it's called, the gate, and we never heard her call our like class. So they have first class, things like that, then there's second class, third class, and fourth class. I don't know if they call it class. Is it called a zone? What the hell is it called? Yeah, they call it zones. So we were like zone 4 and we heard her call zones 1 through 3, but she never called 4. And then it got to the point where we're just like, okay, well, we're just gonna go up there and board in zone 3. And pretty much we went up to her and we gave her a ticket, and she was like, oh my gosh, you guys are late, we're closing the gate, you guys gotta go now. And me and Anna just sat there like, okay, and we just ran on the plane, and it was weird. We just didn't understand it, but maybe it's our fault. I don't think it is, because we weren't like goofing around and just like sitting there and talking loudly. Anytime an announcement went on the PA system, we were always listening for it and like waiting for our zone to be called, but it never was. So that was just a little bit of stress. Anyway, from Fort Lauderdale we finally flew to San Jose, and we went through immigration or customs, whatever you call it, and that was it pretty much. So the flights were, I mean, okay. I feel like airports are just hella stressful for anybody and everybody, especially the workers. So our first flight went pretty well. The only problem for me was my knees started hurting really, really bad. So I ended up having to buy like a pack of extra strong Tylenol at the airport in Fort Lauderdale. We got our bag, it arrived safely. It was a little wet from the rain because it was raining in Fort Lauderdale, but that's okay. It smelled a little weird, but pretty much everything up until we got to San Jose was great. Or I guess until we left the San Jose airport and stepped right outside, everything was, you know, it was okay. It was manageable. And then the second that we got outside of the airport, chaos ensued. I swear I've never been so like flustered and aggravated in my entire life. So we originally had an Uber set up and they were going to come, and then we saw that you had to go through another like bag checkpoint or whatnot, and they usually take a while to get through, so I ended up canceling it. It took like 2 minutes to get through. So great, we don't have an like Uber. I was planning to get another one once we got right outside because there were so many people just in that small space, and in certain situations I get very claustrophobic, and plus I'm overtired. I hadn't slept in over 24 hours and just it had been a crazy past few hours for me. So I was like, we're gonna go out, we'll get an Uber, we're gonna go to the Denny's that's actually in walking distance, and that is where we are meeting our shuttle to take us to La Fortuna. So that was that. And then, like I said, the second we walked outside, we were just bombarded with all of these taxi companies and all of these people trying to get us to get a taxi. and speaking so fast in Spanish. And so for those of you who know me, my Spanish has been a work in progress for a very, very long time. I can understand the majority of it, but then when it comes to replying, it takes a little bit of time for my brain to like work and convert to Spanish so that I can reply back. But these people were just talking so incredibly fast, and multiple ones just coming up all around and surrounding me and Anna, and we're just like, no, please stop. I said, no gracias, no gracias, no gracias, like 8 million times. But it happened. We ended up, like, the second that I stepped out of the airport, I lost my Wi-Fi. So I couldn't get an Uber. So me and Anna are just like, we don't know if we can trust these people. We don't know what's going on. I don't know what they're saying because they're talking way, way too fast for me. But it ended up being like this one guy who's incredibly persistent and stubborn, which, whatever, kudos to you. He convinced us to get a taxi, which cost 3 times as much as an Uber would have cost to go right across the street to Denny's, where we could have walked. Foreign countries. But in the moment it was very stressful and very frustrating to be talked at instead of be talked to. But now I can just laugh at it. So we ended up getting to Denny's, and we waited there for like an hour and a half for our shuttle to arrive to take us to La Fortuna. We got an appetizer, we had a smoothie, and we kind of just chilled there for that time being. So finally at, I think it was like we were getting picked up at 3 by the shuttle. The shuttle came, picked us up, and we started driving to La Fortuna. I'm not used to like crazy roads, but I have experienced them before in Puerto Rico. But Costa Rican roads are a lot more crazy than Puerto Rican roads. Oh my gosh, the trip from San Jose to La Fortuna was crazy, and I have a tendency to get car sick, and guess what I did? I got extremely car sick on that ride there. I didn't throw up, but like I felt like poop. I felt like I was gonna throw up. I had a horrible migraine, just so nauseous. It was crazy. It was a beautiful drive, but yeah, it was a crazy, crazy drive. We ended up making a stop in San Ramon, I think, just to go to the bathroom. There was a cute, adorable little souvenir shop that I wanted to buy everything, but I had to restrain myself because it was the first day of our trip, and I couldn't afford to go broke on the first day of our trip. So we stopped there, and then we had another hour and a half, 2 hours from San Ramon to La Fortuna. So in total, it was like 3-ish, 3.5, maybe wavering on 4 hours of a commute from San Jose to La Fortuna. But once we got there, it was really easy to find our Airbnb. The only thing was, when I was communicating with our Airbnb host, he said that he would meet us there. There were a lot of things that were in the description of the Airbnb that actually weren't true. But there was no bed bugs. I mean, it was a place for us to sleep. There were a few amenities, so it was enough for us for the 2 nights that we were there. We ended up getting there. When did we get there? I think we got to our Airbnb right as the sun was setting, so like 6-ish, maybe 7-ish. But pretty much the second we got in, we just sat down on the couches and we took a deep breath and we looked at each other and said, holy shit, we're in Costa Rica. Like, what? So we connected to the Wi-Fi, we messaged our family being like, hey, we're here, we're not dead, we didn't get kidnapped, we're here. And then pretty much after that, we walked down the street to a little like supermarket. What was it called? Amistad Mercado, I think it was called. It's just a really little cute place. It was pretty much the size of this room that I'm in. It was so small. but it was really nice. It was actually pretty cheap food. And the one thing that when I was doing all my research and all of this, trying to suck in as much information as I could before we got to Costa Rica, was that a lot of people say that Costa Rica is very expensive. But I remember the first night, what did we get? We got eggs. I think we got 6 eggs, a potato, a few apples. I think we got bananas. I got chips and cookies. It's raining outside. And I think that was it. And it was all for under $10. So that was like a pretty good score. And then from there we went back to our Airbnb, made some food, and we proceeded to knock out. Especially me. I knocked out at like 8 p.m. because I was so tired from just traveling, the stress of traveling, not sleeping for over 24 hours, being in a new country, like all of the energies and like the vibrations of people that I experienced that day was just so draining. And so yeah, I knocked out at 8. I think Anna fell asleep a while after me. And so now I am going to show you a little montage of our travel, commute, plane rides, all of the ish from us traveling to Costa Rica. God, I can't. I don't understand. They were just like talking and we didn't hear it. Because I only heard them count 1, 2, 3. Fuck. our first day in Costa Rica. So that is actually all that I'm going to give you today, because I love to just drag out things and make you come back and keep watching things. So that is the end of my vlog for Costa Rica day 1. You will have to come back for the rest of the week and the rest of the vlogs that are to come, because there are so many amazing things that we got to experience that I'm so excited to share with you guys. So I hope you guys liked it. I hope you guys have or had a great day, depending on what time you're watching this. Liking, commenting, subscribing, as usual, up to you. I'm really not bothered. So yeah, that's it for today. I hope you guys enjoyed.